Welcome back to Soul Evolution Explained. Today we begin the art of healing journey, not by trying to fix ourselves, but by remembering who we were before survival shaped our identity. This 5-part emotional patterns playlist, inspired by the Art of Healing course, guides you through transforming old patterns into awareness, compassion, and genuine freedom. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about gently releasing the layers we built to stay safe. Every emotion tells a story, not of weakness, but of survival. The patterns we carry aren't mistakes. They're memories of how we learned to stay safe. This playlist consists of the following topics. We start with this video 1, identifying the survival self. We begin by uncovering the version of ourselves built to survive, the one shaped by fear, rejection, and unmet needs. In this first step, we learn to recognize how silence, overworking, or people-pleasing once protected us, and how awareness begins the journey back to authenticity. Video 2. Understanding the cost of adaptation. Every adaptation has a price. In this episode, we explore what happens when survival patterns outlive their purpose, how they drain energy, limit connection, and keep us repeating old stories. Awareness reveals the cost, and compassion opens the door to change. Video 3. Letting go of survival and returning to yourself. Healing means releasing the armor. Here, we learn to let go of the survival self and reconnect with the truth beneath it, the part of us that feels, loves, and creates freely. This is the moment of return, from protection to presence. Video 4. Steps to heal. The power of self-awareness. Transformation begins with seeing clearly. Through self-awareness, we learn to observe our patterns in real time, to pause, breathe, and choose differently. These steps bring healing from reaction to reflection, from unconscious habit to conscious living. Video 5. Self-talk. Rewriting your inner dialogue. Your inner voice can be your greatest ally or your harshest critic. In our final episode, we explore how to transform that voice into a source of healing. The words you speak to yourself carry more power than anyone else's. They shape your reality and your freedom. This is the art of healing, a journey from survival to self-awareness, from reaction to conscious living. Each episode invites you to see yourself not as broken, but as evolving, one breath, one truth, one choice at a time. We start with video 1, identifying the survival self. Healing isn't about becoming your best self. It's about unlearning the version of you that was built to survive. You've spent years becoming who you needed to be to survive. Now it's time to remember who you truly are. In this episode, I'll guide you through the first step of transformation, recognizing this survival self. Discover how silence, overworking, and people-pleasing once protected you, and how awareness can free you. What is the survival self? The survival self is the part of you that learned to adapt, to stay safe, to be accepted, to avoid pain. It's the version of you that developed coping mechanisms in response to fear, rejection, or unmet needs. Maybe you learned to stay silent to avoid conflict. Maybe you overworked to prove your worth. Maybe you smiled when you wanted to cry. These patterns helped you survive, but they also kept you from living fully. Healing begins when you recognize that the person you've been is often a product of fear and adaptation, not your true self. You start by recognizing patterns. Our survival self operates on autopilot. It's the voice that says, "Don't speak up, you'll upset someone," or "Work harder, then you'll be enough." Healing begins when you notice these patterns without judgment. Ask yourself, is this me? Or is this who I learned to be? When you start to see these behaviors clearly, you reclaim your power. You begin to separate your authentic self, the one who feels, expresses, and connects, from the protective shell that's been running the show. You work with compassion and awareness. Recognizing your survival self isn't about blame, it's about compassion. Every coping mechanism was once a brilliant act of self-preservation. When you understand that, you stop judging yourself and start healing. You realize that silence, perfectionism, or control were ways your nervous system try to keep you safe. This process isn't about self-improvement in the traditional sense. It's about confronting uncomfortable truths and reclaiming the parts of you that were hidden beneath survival. Working towards self-acceptance of these parts is key. Now, take a moment to reflect on the survival patterns you've developed. Healing begins with recognizing that these adaptations, while necessary for survival, have obscured your true self. Ask yourself, what survival traits do I recognize in myself? People-pleasing, overworking, isolation, perfectionism, etc. Where do these patterns come from? Explore the possible roots, such as in childhood, with family dynamics, parental behaviors, early traumatic experiences, or in social environments. In the workplace, peer groups, school, or societal expectations. Or individual experiences. In personal relationships, internalized beliefs, or moments of trauma. Or cultural influences, with social pressures, cultural norms, and the impact of social media. Awareness of these sources is the first step toward transformation. Once you connect with the root cause, the pattern begins to release more easily. When the root remains hidden, you're left managing symptoms instead of healing the source for good. With the sources revealed, it's time to explore the specific events that forged these patterns. Write a detailed narrative for each significant event. Name the people involved, describe the emotions you felt, and trace how those experiences shaped your behavior. This act of writing transforms abstract memories into concrete realities. It fosters ownership and facilitates healing. If any of these reflections bring up difficult emotions, reach out to someone you trust or a professional. Healing is not meant to be done alone. You don't need to become someone new. You're simply returning to yourself. Next video, we'll explore the cost of adaptation. What happens when survival patterns outlive their purpose? If this message resonates, the Art of Healing course offers a guided path to integrate this work deeply. See more in the description below.